Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Thank you. All right, welcome to the Aston Township Board of Commissioners meeting for Wednesday, February 21st, 2024. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Before we start, I want to read a testimonial so everybody can just stay seated. Back in May 2005, I had just won the primary election for 7th Ward Commissioner. Since I had no opponent for the general election, one of our former commissioners invited me to attend some township committee meetings. He thought it would help me to hit the ground running come January of 2006. So I did, and I got a good taste of what was involved being a commissioner, and it helped me as I went forward. That person was former 6th Ward Commissioner and Vice President Frank G. Murphy. Well, fast forward to January 31st of this year. This is when Frank passed away at the young age of 61. Frank was a truly kind person, pleasant and cheerful, and always willing to help out with issues. He was very knowledgeable and had a great grasp of the job. He had a degree in mechanical engineering from Temple University in 1985 and an MS from Penn State in 1986, and he was a magna cum laude graduate of Temple University Law School with a JD in 1992. Unfortunately, Frank left the board in October 1998 due to his family relocating to Chadds Ford Township. Frank was a partner in the law firm of Murphy Madram, and that's his partner sitting over there. So I would like to give my condolences to his wife Anne Marie and their two daughters Natalie and Juliana. Frank often brought the kids to the committee meetings when he was there because there was no one home to look after them. His wife's also an attorney. I know he will be missed by his family and law partner Mike Madron. May he rest in peace. Thank you. And a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Okay, item number 3 on your agenda. Review and approve the minutes of the regular meeting of January 17, 2024.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Next we have committee reports. Commissioner Tinsley, would you like to say something?
No, I know we haven't started the important committee report assignments, so at this time I'll see my comments for the end.
Thank you. Commissioner Berry.
This is a police report for February 2024. Incidents handled 540, accident investigations 38, criminal investigations 22, criminal cases cleared 11, clearance rate part 1 crimes was 14%, clearance rate part 2 114%. Pretty good.
Yeah, really.
License plate readers. Pennell Road and Concord Roads had 933,000 cars last month. Pennell and Dutton Mill had 645,000 plus. Dutton Mill and Concord had 672 plus 528. Concord and Aston Mills at 513, and Concord and Bridgewater. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Prendergast.
Thank you, Commissioner Haynes. Reading the Public Works Director Activity Report for January 2024. All 811 call sheets were reviewed and applicable streets were marked as per 811 guidelines. Our crews cleaned up debris following 2 rain windstorms. Our crews salted and plowed 8 inches of snow following 2 winter storms. 73 potholes were filled using 2.5 tons of cold patch asphalt. Our sanitation department picked up 59 tons of recycling and 491 tons of residential waste. The following roads are state-owned and maintained by PennDOT: Pennell Road, Concord Road, Knowlton Road, Bridgewater Road, Dutton Mill Road, Aston Miles, Bernie Highway, Bodley Road, and Lenai Road. If you have any maintenance or safety issues on any of these roads, please contact PennDOT at 610-566-0972. The next Metal and Appliance Week collection is March 4th to March 8th. Bulk Trash Week no longer exists. Anything that could be burned can be put out on your curb for trash at any time. Please have your trash at the curb by 6 a.m. on a designated trash day. Any questions or complaints, please contact Russ Palmore, Director of Public Works, at 610-494-8005. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you. Commissioner Dougherty.
I have before me the Treasurer's Report for January 2024. Operating cash in the general fund as of January 31st, 2024 was $748,651. Other funds include the TD Bank escrow checking account with a balance of $640,489. The TD Bank ARF fund with a balance of $783,005. The Pliget account with a balance of $9,561,053. And the TD Bank capital checking account with a balance of $1,924,903. Total cash balance of the township as of January 31st, 2024 was $19,684,448, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Commissioner Bowden.
I have a report here from the library. The next library bingo will be on Saturday, March the 16th. Bingo is from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Doors open at 4:30. $25 admission. All cash prizes. No one under 18 is admitted. Alcoholic beverages are prohibited. Bingo will return again May 18th. Same time, same place. Chair Zumba with Miss Elizabeth, Tuesdays at 2 p.m. 2:27 to 4:02. Enjoy a gentle form of Zumba using the chair for support. Join the library for a free showing of an Oscar-nominated movie, Past Lives, on Friday, March 11th at 11 a.m. Bring your child to Jitterbugs Yoga Adventure, Saturday, February 17th at 10:30 a.m. This is a basic, fun introduction to yoga for kids 3 to 12. Our next Lego Day is Saturday, 2/17, from 1 to 4. Drop in and build anything you can imagine. No registration required. Open to children, all ages, but adult supervision is required. From the Aston Seniors, tomorrow is their monthly meeting, 10:15. The doors open at the Aston Community Center. Lunch follows around noon time. I have been remiss, and Kathy, one of the residents, has reminded me in 2 meetings now that I never thanked all of you for the beautiful job that you did with the luminarias for our Christmas week. Our township looked absolutely incredible, and I want to thank each and every family and individual who participated in it, and hope next year it will be even bigger and better. Our Easter Bunny brunch is going to be Saturday, March the 23rd. The egg scramble will be at 10 o'clock a.m. on the fields behind the community center, and a brunch will follow with hot dogs and refreshments for the children and their families. The bunny will be there for pictures and for hugs. And finally, on July the 4th, under our new amphitheater, will be our fabulous Grease Band. Will be performing great entertainments to the township, 7 o'clock p.m. Bring your chair. There will be food to purchase at the Aston Community Center. That's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Bowden. Commissioner McGinn, please.
Yes, thank you. I have 2 committee reports for tonight. The first is Fire Committee. As always, it's a very lengthy report, so I try to highlight a couple of the comments that are in there. Again, strong response times by both our fire and EMS. Dispatched on scene, both around 7 minutes. Very strong, especially when you look and compare to where other municipalities are. Average manpower a little bit down from where it was last year. I think mostly 8 or 9, and in the month of January was 7. So great job as always by the Aston Township Fire Department. Second, a update from the West Branch Trail study. Some of you that come to meetings will remember we've looked at now for quite a while and got grants to perform not sustainability, a feasibility study for the West Branch Trail. And a lot of people, if you're not, most of it's in the second ward. And so, you know, where Fisher Park is, Port Park, we've got some beautiful kind of scenic areas. A lot of the areas along the way are actually, you know, township owned or open space. So we're looking at the opportunity for a trail there. The next phase in the feasibility study is there'll be a survey. Joe Scusa, our township engineer in Pinoni, worked on. Nothing too crazy, but it'll go out, be on the website. A few basic questions, encourage anybody from the township to respond. Certainly folks that are trail enthusiasts, if you know people that will live nearby, please respond, because they're the kind of things with positive feedbacks that help us secure more grants from the state and other entities. And to this point, it hasn't cost the township $1. We've been able to fund this through grant support both from the county and the state. So just a reminder again, people that are interested, we'll get this information out, but please respond because it does help us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McGinn. And I have a report. It's the permits and licenses report dated February 21st, 2024. And the following is a report for the permits and licenses issued for the month of January 2024. Beginning balance was 0, obviously. Total income from building permits and general contractors licenses was $8,097. Total electrical permits and licenses, $2,205. Total plumbing and heating permits, $2,699. Total income from Board of Health licenses, $2,150. Income from certificates of occupancy, $1,100. Income from rental licenses, $4,600. Income from street openings, $4,085. Total revenue collected, $24,936. And the total so far for 2024 is the same, $24,936. And that's being compared to January 2023, it was $57,735. That's all for the reports. So now I'd like to, we would like to get approval of the treasurer's report.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Item number 6, review and approval of the bills and payroll report.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Approve the bills and payroll report.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Item 7 on the agenda is open to the public, agenda items only. Open to the public, agenda items only. Okay? If you'd like to speak, come on up here to the podium. There's we have two, and we have one near the end and one on the agenda is first, so you'll be free to come up and say what you would like.
At the end.
At the end, yeah. I'll announce it. Come on up next.
Nicholas Penzer from Morgan Road. I wanted to go over old business 8A. I remember last commissioners meeting, section 236.10, where'd it go? Police recovery ordinance. I thought that was passed, the amendment to that was passed in January, I thought.
That was a notification, I believe.
It was authorization to advertise last month. So last month, they authorized me to advertise it for consideration this month.
Okay, thank you. I'll have to fix that in my notes.
Thank you. Anybody else would like to come up and speak? Seeing none, we'll move on. Nobody else? Seeing none, we'll move on. Item A, under old business, consider an ordinance to amend and restate section 236-.10 of the Aston Township Codified Ordinances to empower the township to recover police service costs incurred as a result of public disturbances against property owners in the township. Mr. Burry.
Thank you, President. Ordinance number 1035, that's an ordinance of Aston Township, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, amending and restating section 236.10 of the codified ordinances of Aston Township to empower the township to recover police services costs incurred as a result of public disturbances against property owners in the township. Whereas section 236.10 of the codified ordinance of Aston Township, the code empowers the township to recover police service costs against owners of private property upon which there occurs a public disturbance, as those terms are defined therein. Whereas the township has experienced repeated public disturbances on property owned by public entities. Whereas repeated public disturbances are a drain on the resources of Aston Township Police Department and township taxpayers. Whereas such, this Board of Commissioners deems it necessary to broaden the scope of section 236.10 to empower the township to recover police service costs against owners of all the property. Now for their township does not hereby ordain. Effective date, this ordinance shall become effective on the 5th day following its adoption. Enacted and ordained this date, 21st day of February 2024. Michael J. Higgins, President. Kelly Pippin, Assistant Township Manager. And that's in the form of a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nays? Ayes have it. All right. Item B, consider a resolution for the approval of the preliminary final land development application to construct a new municipal building at the northeast intersection of Concord Road and Donnelly Avenue, folio number 020000400000. Mr. McGinn.
Yes, thank you. Before I make a motion and introduce this resolution, number 2024-23, I just want to take a step back so folks understand what it is. So, obviously with the new township building and police station, was because of us having to vacate over at Pennell Road. And being here at the fire station for our public meetings, but using New Road as our current building, and that's through a lease agreement. And so, at this point, years ago, we started to commence the process, and I think this is one of those, milestones where, to paraphrase Winston Churchill in positive, it's not the beginning of the end, but it's the end of the beginning. So, Bernardin is our architect. We have a site chosen on the same property the township owns by the community center to be adjacent to it. For those that are less familiar and are thinking, all right, well, what's that going to look like? I'm kind of curious, and maybe haven't been paying attention the whole time. The presentation is up on the website, and if you have any questions, you can email me or Bill or anybody, and we can get that to you. Certainly answer any questions. There's going to be plenty of other opportunities to come and talk about in the public. But what tonight is the land development. So even though this is a township building for the municipal building and the police station, we still have to follow the land development process, just like any other business or anything else that wants to develop. So that was a big step. They had an engineer very familiar to the township that does a lot of projects, put the land development proposal together, was reviewed in new construction, and this tonight, assuming this resolution is approved, moves to that next step where we can ultimately finalize the design and building, and then ultimately go out to bid to identify contractors to pursue the project. And again, the goal for construction and move-in would be not this fall, but next fall in 2025. So that's the timeline going forward. In terms of to officially paraphrase the resolution, I'm going to take up the offer from our esteemed solicitor, Mike Madron, paraphrase that, and then I'll make the motion.
Okay,
Second.
I prepared an ordinance for you this evening that would approve the land development for the municipal building and grant a waiver from the requirement to file separate preliminary and final plans.
Thanks. I make a motion in support of Mike Badger's comments.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nay. Ayes have it. Congratulations, Aston.
Yeah.
We have old business now. 8C. I'm sorry, yeah, old business 8C. Consider a resolution to approve the final subdivision and development for A&A Enterprises LLC, 2043 Bridgewater Road. Mr. Doherty.
President Higgins, I'd like to turn this over to Mr. Badger, our solicitor.
Thank you, Commissioner Doherty. I've prepared a resolution for the board's consideration this evening that would approve final, conditional final land development at subdivision land development at 2043 Bridgewater Road, subject to 13 conditions identified as A through M as follows. A, applicant shall abide by all applicable laws and regulations of the United States, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Delaware County, and Aston Township during its construction and use of the property. B, except as otherwise approved during final land development, applicant shall construct and install all proposed improvements consistent with and as shown on the plan. C, applicant shall revise the plan to set forth the conditions of this resolution verbatim. D, applicant shall revise the plan to accurately reflect folio numbers of the affected lots as set forth in the first recital of this resolution. E, applicant shall materially comply with the terms and recommendations of the reviews, those being the reviews by the Township Engineer, the Aston Planning Commission, and the Delaware County Planning Commission, and the New Construction Commission, with the exception of the Aston Township Planning Commission's curb and sidewalk requirement, which has already been waived. Applicant shall comply with all conditions of the conditional use approval, the preliminary approval, and this final approval, except as any of them may be or have been modified by subsequent action of this board. Prior to the release of the final plan for recording, applicant shall set forth the conditions of the conditional use approval, the preliminary approval, the final approval on final plan verbatim, referencing the approval and the date associated with each condition. Prior to release of the final plan for recording, applicant shall install propane heat at the property and shall decommission and cease to use the existing wood-burning stove. I, prior to release of the final plan for recording, applicant shall amend the final plan to reflect a blanket easement in favor of Aston Township for a 10-foot wide walking trail along Dutton Mill Road, along Bridgewater Road, with necessary additional width for installation and maintenance as needed. The blanket easement shall be assignable by the township to any other governmental entity. The language of the note reflecting the blanket easement shall be subject to the review and approval of the township solicitor. Prior to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy for any building constructed at the property, applicant shall install a 4-foot wide walking lane along the eastern side of Judy Way to run parallel to the curb line. Prior to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy for any building constructed at the property, applicant shall install 5 7-foot Bluetech vintage one-head die-cast aluminum LED outdoor hardwired streetlights, head and pole, or approved equal along Judy Way with the exact location to be approved by the township engineer. To the extent permitted by applicable building codes, all doors to any building at the property shall be placed on the following sides of the building in the following order of priority. First, facing northwest toward Bridgewater Road. Then, only to the extent additional doors are required by applicable building codes, northeast also toward Bridgewater Road. Then, only to the extent additional doors are required by applicable building codes, southwest toward Judy Way. Unless absolutely necessary to satisfy applicable building codes, No door shall face the neighboring lots along Judy Way, Dorothy Lane, or Beechers Lane. And finally, and all lighting at the property shall be attached to the building and downward facing. An applicant shall use the minimum lighting required by code, if any, on the rear of the building facing the neighboring lots along Judy Way, Dorothy Lane, and Beechers Lane.
Thank you, Michael. Just so everybody knows, this is what would have been read have we, so. And I need a motion.
I make a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions on that?
Commissioner Higgins, I'd like to make a comment.
Yes.
So my comment is, obviously being new on the board, it's only been 50 days. However, for the past 8 years, I've been involved in this as a resident. So after consulting with our solicitor, I will be abstaining from this vote. However, I just want to acknowledge and want to make a comment. I know there's been residents, many Aston Township residents, whether it was through planning, zoning, new construction committees, have spent their time and efforts for the past 8 years to get to this point that Mr. Higgins showed as far as for that thick agenda item that started in the spring of 2016. So I want to thank President Higgins for the efforts and time he spent. I know we've had multiple township managers during that time, so I also want to acknowledge Phil DeFeo and Kelly with their support to be able to help the commissioners come up with a solution, as well as 2 solicitors like to help Mike as well. So again, due to my personal engagement as a resident for that we've dealing with the past 8 years, I will be abstaining from the vote.
Thank you, sir.
I have a comment, Commissioner.
Ms. Bowden?
Yes, down the road.
As all of the commissioners know, and I'm going to inform the audience, I'm going to be voting no, as I've told all of you. I've been elected by the public of Aston Township, not in this ward particularly, but by the residents of Aston Township. The residents of Bridgewater in the 6th Ward do not want this. They are not happy with it. And I know there's mixed feelings here, but my vote is going to be no, and I hope you can respect that.
Okay. Let's go to the vote.
Thank you. Was anybody else on the panel like to make a comment? Okay, we have a motion and a second. We've already had comments. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No.
1 no and 1 abstention. Okay.
Hold the board.
All the board.
Call the
Commissioner Higgin?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowden?
No.
Commissioner Doherty?
Yes.
Commissioner Prendergast?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Tinsley?
Abstain.
Abstain.
Commissioner Higgins?
yes.
Motion carries 5 to 1 with 1 abstention.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, we move on to number 9, new business. Consider a motion to hire that's going to be tabled. Sorry about that, table.
Table.
New business 9B, consider a resolution for the submission of the county aid MS 339 application, which, by the way, is to get money from the county for the road improvement program, the annual program. And that's Mr. Prendergast.
Thank you, Commissioner Higgins. We're considering a resolution for the submission of the county MS 339 application, and I will now read the resolution. Township of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, resolution number 202425. Approval authorizing an application to the Delaware County Council for an allocation of county liquid fuels tax funds in 2024 for the Aston Township Road Program. Whereas the township desires to take advantage of the act approved June 1st, 1945, PP 1242, and as provided in the act approved of May 18th, 1945, PL 803, permitting counties of Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to appropriate and expend money for the improvements and maintenance of state highways and state aid highways or public highways in the county of Commonwealth. Now therefore be it resolved as follows, that the Township Board of Commissioners recommends the application to the County Council of Delaware County for an allocation of county liquid fuels tax funds in the amount of $15,066 to be used towards the 2024 Aston Township Road Program. Duly adopted this 21st day of February 2024. Michael J. Higgins, Board of Commissioners, Kelly A. Pippin, Township Secretary. And we're doing this in the form of a motion.
Okay, we have a motion. We need a second.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Are there any comments from the panel? I'll just make one comment. This is just a small amount of what we get every year. In fact, it's about $3,000 less than it was last year. But we get substantial dollars from the state, and all this is based on the miles and so forth in the town. But also, when you go to Wawa or anywhere else and you buy gas, some of that money goes into the liquid fuels fund, and that's what pays for the repaving of roads that need to be done, okay? So that's what that is. So so we have a motion and a second, and all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Thank you.
They're having trouble here. What's that? They're having trouble here.
I don't know what that is. Yeah, all right. Number 9C, consider a motion to appoint Thomas Fuchs to a 4-year term on the Aston Township Planning Commission, and that's for Nancy Bowden.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the appointment of Thomas Fuchs to a 4-year term on the Aston Township Planning Commission.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Thank you. Item D, consider a motion to appoint John Zaworkin to a 5-year term on the Southwest Delaware County Municipal Authority Board. Mr. McGinn.
Thank you. I make a motion to approve the appointment of John Zaworkin to a 5-year term on the Southwest Delaware County Municipal Authority Board.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Item E, consider a motion to appoint Ernie Ellis as a part-time employee in the Aston Township Code Department with a salary of $12,000, which is a budgeted line item. Mr. Prendergast.
Thank you. I consider a motion to approve Ernie Ellis as a part-time employee in the Aston Township Code Department with a salary of $12,000, which is a budgeted line item, in the form of a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Nays? Ayes have it. Number F, number F, consider a motion to approve the refund to Anthony Civoli Jr. in the amount of $1,332.07 for a duplicate tax payment. Mr. Doherty.
I make a motion to approve a refund in the amount of $1,332.07 to Anthony Civoli Jr. for duplicate taxes paid in the form of motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Next, we have escrow releases, which I'll read because it's very short. Aston Township, Delaware County, Pennsylvania Resolution 2024-26. Whereas ordinance number 240 and ordinance number 360 provide for escrow funds for the completion of improvements, and whereas the Township Engineer and the new Construction Committee has approved the request for escrow funds released to Vel City Energy, 11 Hereford Place, for solar work, folio 1252-00-sub-account number 77666-25445. Now therefore be it resolved that Aston Township executes such action as required by the Township Secretary and the President of the Board of Commissioners to release the sum of $243.75 to Velo City Energy, 11 Hereford Place, for solar work. Duly adopted this 21st day of February 2024 Township Aston by myself, and attested to by Kelly A. Pippin, Township Secretary, in the form of a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nay. Ayes have it. And we have two summary motions. The following amount for engineering fees to be paid to Benoni Associates for the month of February, summary total $5,852 in the form of a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Next one, the following amount is for engineering fees to be paid to Cirilli Associates, Inc. for the month of February. Total is $1,206.50 in the form of a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 11, now we move on to comments or questions from the public, and you're interested in making a comment, were you? Somebody back there was? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Come up to the podium, please. Let us have your name and your address. Can you come up closer to the microphone?
I can't hear you.
Or pull the microphone down towards my, yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I'm here, a few of the residents that live in West Milton. One of our concerns is we know that Oppendecker owns the property down on the bottom of Milton. And they can do with it, whatever they want. But where our concern is, when you drive by, it just looks hideous now because you're seeing all these big blue bins as you drive down. And like I said, they can do whatever they want, but I think they could at least maybe put some like low bushes up to make it look better as we're driving down. I don't think you want people driving in down the township saying, what, I mean, it's a huge area back there, if anyone's familiar with it, and there's so many of them. It's just a real eyesore when you're driving by, and that's living on that road. Like, I'm up and down that road 18 times, and I think so is everyone else. And it's just a real eyesore, and I just cringe every time I drive by, and I look at these big blue bins. They have one in particular that's just like right there at the road. And I just don't know why they couldn't put up some bushes just to make it look presentable. And you don't have to, it doesn't have to look like that. And they keep making the driveway wider and wider and wider for the entrance to get in there. And, they've been there for a long time and the driveway never used to be like that. It just keeps to be getting wider, wider, wider. And it's all muddy, so they're constantly driving all this mud onto the roads and I noticed the truck was down there cleaning up, coming by to try and clean up the road a couple of weeks ago. So we would just like to see if something could be done about that.
Ms. Foden, do you want to respond, or you want to,
Yeah, I do want to say something.
Yeah.
First of all, hi. I didn't know about all of this going on. I don't go up and down Mill Road that very, very often.
Right.
But I got a phone call today from Mr. Oppendecker himself,
Oh, okay.
Donald Oppendecker, and he said that he heard that the people on the road were concerned about what the property was looking like. And he would be willing to do whatever you all wanted to make it better. He had taken down numerous trees that were dead.
Yeah, that was great, actually.
And so after that, I got an anonymous, it wasn't anonymous, but I don't want to reveal the person that sent me an email. And I personally went up there at about 3:30 this afternoon. And it looks terrible. I'll be very honest with you. The gate's wide open. The driveway is definitely wider than it used. I've never seen it look like that. So what I would like to do, if it's all right with all of you, I'll meet with you guys and we'll tell Donald whatever you guys think it should look like. Because I've known it's been back there, but we've never seen it.
You could never see it before.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
You could never
I
see
agree
it
with you.
before, and now it's
So I'll meet with you guys. I can set up a meeting or to meet with you after the meeting tonight. It doesn't matter to me, whatever you want
Okay.
to do.
Okay, great, thank you. Yeah, while we're here.
While we're here.
Yes.
Okay,
that would be
perfect.
great. And then the other issue is there seems to be a rat problem. Fulgenty owns the row houses up at 5 Points and then the house on the corner of Allendale and West Milton. So I knew there were rats back there, and then, is Adam here?
He is right there.
There's rats behind his house as well. One got killed on my road, actually. I saw a dead rat, got hit by a car. So this is just a real concern. I mean, now that they're coming down the road, getting hit by a car. I spoke to one of the residents that rents in one of the row houses. She couldn't make it tonight, but she can't even go in her backyard. That's how bad it is. You know, she got a cat to try and handle it. So, you know, I know all those stores, Primo and Big Lots, and there's a Chinese restaurant. And we've always had fast food restaurants around, but we shouldn't have these rats. I mean, we never had them before. I just feel like it's out of control right now, especially if they're like wandering down the road.
Yeah, I know Adam's in the back of the,
Right.
Adam contacted me about, what, 8 months ago, was it, around? And I sent codes out there, and they went out and they checked the traps along that driveway. And then I hadn't heard any more from you, so I assumed, and they cleaned out some of those brushes, that was along that driveway there. And I assumed you were all happy with that, because I never heard from you again, and this is the first I'm hearing about it again tonight. But we can make sure to send the code department to make sure those traps along that driveway that abut your property, Adam, are they being maintained?
I have a picture just from today of the one that's broken. I did count them, there's 6 of them. But I would say if I was a betting man, we went into them, they all need to be rebaited.
Didn't you say there was a nest in the alleyway?
That's probably where I would think they nest, you know, in thick brush like this that's adjacent to the alley, because it's thick in there. I mean, you have to coexist with them somewhere, they have to live somewhere. So they're probably in there, I'm not sure, it's just my guess. They're not in my house or under my shed, but they were under my shed. My dog sniffed them out, and I had to get them out.
They're ending up in your pool as well.
And once in a while, I'll find a dead one in the pool. I mean,
That's something that really has to be monitored.
the traps really just need to be maintained.
Not just
We
resolve the
really
issue in
need
short term.
public comment to.
Yeah, we'll need to have it come up so we can get down all the information. Yeah.
I can have code go out there as soon as they're available, and we'll have them go out and check that property. It's all coming from, I know where it's coming from.
It's a horrible park. It's just like.
Are the
when I saw
traps,
it get hit by
Adam,
the car,
are the
it's
traps
like-
still along the driveway?
They're all along the walls from where the liquor store is, where they sell beer, all along
It's pretty big.
the other side where you're exiting, where big.
Did they go all the way out?
They go, there's 6 of them all the way around, which is.
We'll send Cody out tomorrow.
Thank you for your
Thanks for letting us
time.
know.
Thanks, Dave.
Sir, does some of the others want to come up and comment to you? Okay. Come up here, sir.
My name's Jerry Dupuy.
Can you spell your last name, please? I'm right here. Can you spell your last name for me, please?
Dupuy, D-U-P-U-I-S. 115 West Knowlton Road. A couple houses down from where all this activity is happening. First of all, I'm just curious as to how long the dumpsters have been down at the end of Knowlton Road, because I'm just noticing them within the past 6 to 8 months, where maybe they're moving more in. Now, I only noticed them because they took the trees down.
Yeah.
And it looks good to have the trees down, but all of a sudden, all I see are dumpsters, as far as I can see. Now, with dumpsters, I'm assuming that they're not clean dumpsters when they're bringing them there. So, when we're talking about a rat problem or infestation up on the other end of Knowlton Road, is this something that's gonna occur down at that end of Knowlton Road for the residents down there in the future? So that's just a question. I mean, I don't know if, how long they've been there, but certainly something needs to be done, not just to cover up the presence of those dumpsters, but, you know, to take care of that issue for appearance, but is there an issue with regards to health for the residents of that end of Milton? There certainly is an issue with regards to health on our end of Milton, where if you have a rat infestation, it's not something that's a constant monitoring issue. It needs to be looked at all the time. You can't just put traps out and then they disappear and say they're not going to nest again, because they are going to nest again. So that's just my comments. I think the commissioners need to look into that and get back to us.
So Nancy, could we make sure that his dumpsters are clean and they don't have debris and so forth in them?
I want to meet with the people, and we'll get all their items, and I'll write this all down, and I'll make sure that I meet with Mr. Optenecker within the next few days.
Very good, very good.
I can tell you, those dumpsters have been there, to the best of my knowledge, over 10 years, Joe? Maybe more, 20. Kevin?
Nancy, as of late, that's completely
Excuse me,
changed.
hi.
You have to come up to the microphone.
You have to come up.
Hi, I'm Kevin Talbot. I live at 209 West Milton Road.
Spell your last name, please.
Talbot. I think what we were talking about, and I was talking with Brian Sill the other day about some things. I think when Asplund went down there, we've been having a lot of problems with electrical outages in storms over the past few years. And I know that Asplund went down there. I don't know whether it was Optenecker that initiated it, but they went in there and they took down a lot of the dead stuff down there. Normally in a storm, trees would go down and we'd lose power down there. As of late, it's been really good because the trees are gone. When the trees are gone, they've exposed Optenecker's little area in there. And I've lived on that road all my life. And basically 20 years ago, 15 years ago, there was hardly any dumpsters down there. Now with the trees gone, all these, it seems like there's like 50, 60 of these dumpsters now appearing down there. And he used to have a really nice slatted privacy fence that opened up there that you couldn't see because of the trees and everything. Now with the dead trees gone, the slatted fence is now exposed even more. And all these dumpsters are starting to pile up from the back of that property up to the road. So you go down there and it's just, not to mention across the street, there's 2 abandoned houses, and then there's one house that sits in the middle of that street down there. I don't know who lives down there, but there's like 8 to 10 cars outside of that place. And I don't know what's going on down there. It's kind of strange. The last house that's abandoned on the left down at the bottom of the hill before Varieties, the front door's open. So I don't know whether, you know, there could be a vagrant that's in there. There's animals probably in the house. The bottom of that street's just, it looks like a, yeah, it looks really bad. And I'm gonna continue on one more thing that's driving me nuts. The dump trucks go into the quarry from the H&K group. I understand that they got a business down there, and it's probably a very prosperous business for those guys, but for 6 days, you live on that road. I know most people in Aston don't, so they don't know what we're experiencing, but the dump trucks parade in and out of that place, up and down that road constantly. And I'm not sure whether there's an ordinance that has a time frame for when they're supposed to begin, but as of late, these guys have been rolling down the road at 5:30 in the morning sometimes. And we're all sleeping right on that road, and it feels like I'm like in the quarry. And it gets crazy after a while, and they're up and down that road constantly. So I don't know whether this is a Knowlton Road night to sound off about some things that are going on there, but it just, that whole section down there seems like it needs a little attention. So I'm going on record to just ask you guys what you could do to find out about that, especially the trucks, because they're rolling in and out of there. They're dynamiting. I know they have certain times when they blast. The plates in my closets rattle and shake when they do that. And I think it's only once or twice a month. I've actually been down there on photo shoots because I had a marketing business that we used to go down there and we would get permission from them to go down and check it out and everything. It's an amazing place if anybody's ever been down in that quarry to see what they're doing. But it's just crazy how many trucks and how much activity is up and down that road constantly. Sometimes it gets really dangerous. So I'm just going to go on, yeah.
Kevin, I have a question and a comment.
Sure.
Hello? Anyway, when you go down the street on the left side, you have the entrance to the quarry.
Right.
Then there's at least 2 old houses after that. Are they the 3? Okay. Are they the ones that you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, because at one time, and I guess it goes back a few years ago, there was discussions to take those houses out
Yes.
and put something else down there. So I wanted to make sure we knew which houses are.
That's
We could easily check it out on the tax folios
Yep.
and find out who the owners are, and then take whatever.
They're owned by the quarry.
They are owned by the quarry? Okay.
I'm pretty sure they're owned by the quarry, and it could possibly be quarry workers that live there.
Okay, yeah, like in the old, like in the old,
Cars out front there?
all the cars out.
Yeah, those 3 houses.
like in
I
it.
thought it was a fraternity house.
I stand
Yeah,
corrected.
Nah. Well, we'll check the tax
And
rolls
I'm not saying
anyway.
they're causing problems
No.
or anything. I'm just saying, it's very strange to have an abandoned house, and then this house where there's a whole bunch of things going on, and
Yeah.
then there's another abandoned house.
Maybe that's where they're
And then you got the dumpsters across the street. Just doesn't look good.
Yeah, we can check the tax rolls. That's the one. That's the question. The other one's a comment.
Sure.
Your other issue had to do with what again? I just lost my train of thought.
The other issue.
Oh, the trucks, yeah.
Trucks.
So now we
I'm
have,
not sure
what we have is, the trash haulers that do the commercial pickups and so forth, like along Concord and
Yeah.
Pennell Road. They can't start before 7.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
But and sometimes they're out there 5 in the morning and we gotta caution them. But the only people that can, start early is actually the township, trash
trucks.
people. Okay?
Yeah.
So,
Well, these guys are not abiding by that.
well, yeah, I'm just saying the trash haulers, but, so what we need to do is check the ordinance and see if we can control those type of trucks at that time in the morning.
I think
I
we-
would ask that you make it later. 6 o'clock is crazy.
That's trash trucks. That's trash trucks.
Fine. I'm
Well, that's the only ones allowed after at 6.
We'll review it, okay?
Yeah.
It's
okay.
probably the trucks coming out of the quarry.
Probably.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
It doesn't seem to happen right after they blast, Kevin. when I-
No.
I'm saying the
Every
ordinance
day.
committee when we pass this thing,
All day,
okay?
every day.
The only
6
time,
days
like
a
you
week,
just
even
said,
on
yeah.
Saturdays,
Only
you
listen to
can't
trash
sleep
haulers
in.
That's
can
it.
leave at 6.
The other ones have to after 7.
Excuse
Me and
me.
Les just talked about that.
Come up here and give me your name.
Yeah, you have to come up if you want to comment, so we can pick up
Thanks for
those.
listening.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. Would anybody else like to come up? Sir, come on up. Take your time. Although the ambulance people are close if you fall, so.
I like that shirt. It's wild. This shirt's wild.
My name is Kendrick Kahn. Last name is C-O-N-N. First name Kendrick is K-E-N-P-R-I-C. I live at 243 Walton Road. Honestly, I came tonight mostly just to observe what was going on, but since I live on Knowlton Road and the conversation was brought up, the trucks that are coming up, they're coming up all day long. And they're coming up at such a speed too, that it does rattle the house. You get a full truck coming up at speed up that road, and it does. It shakes the foundations of the house. My girl and I have recorded more cracks around the house because of the vibration. She works from home, and she's actually keeping a spreadsheet on how often they come by and how often the house rattles. So obviously there's going to be some rattling from blasting. Been on the website for Pyramid where they have disclaimers about what is legal and what they're allowed to do. But when you're actually in the house and you see a truck go by and it feels like they've just blasted with just a truck going by, it's disconcerting. It's disconcerting with your property values as well, because the foundation of your house starts to crack because they're moving the earth and just hauling the stuff out. Then you're just seeing your money go down the drain, a potential hazard with your house. So they do need to be spoken with, or at the very least, something needs to be done about observing how quickly they're coming up the road with those full trucks.
Sir, are you aware that Ms. Bowden does put announcements out? I don't know if you,
I'm not. This is my first meeting. As
Yeah.
I said, I came to observe just to see how things were going. I wasn't planning on speaking, but the conversation turned to my
yeah,
road.
you're always welcome to come and comment. And Nancy puts out notices on Facebook. I don't know if you are on Facebook, but, you know, so, not that resolves the speed or anything, but, you know.
I always put out one that blasts this
Yeah.
one. Pyramid sends me an email, and I put it up on social media. I get the notice like within 24 hours. That's as fast as I get it up on social media. And that's only probably been in the past year that's been going on, that they've been notified.
I appreciate that. And I don't mind. It's a quarry. There's going to be blasting.
Yeah.
I also know that I live up the street from a gun club. There's going to be gunshots. It's,
Yeah.
you know, some things you just take as reasonable expectation. What I don't expect as reasonable is, you know, a two-ton truck coming up at 70 miles per hour up that road and my house shaking because of it. You know, that they need to be, the drivers need to be addressed and say, hey, people live here.
We'll work on it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Would someone else like to come up? No other questions?
I think Nicky wants to come again.
Nick,
You can't count on me.
this better be a good one.
Sooner or later.
Nicholas Spencer, 30 Morgan Road. Mine is actually a follow-up on the sale of the old municipal building. Now, as you remember, the township was originally going to sell it for 1.3 million US dollars, I believe.
1.7, I thought.
1.7? Okay,
Yeah.
1.75.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah, that's right.
1.7.
Bye.
75. But then Collier, who is selling it in our steed for us, advised you not to sell because we can get a higher price if we wait out, because one, the business realty is hot, that market, and two, the Federal Reserve is supposed to lower interest rates this year. Well, the problem is, I just wanted to say that not only have they the Fed not lowered the interest rate this month, they're not going to lower it next month either, as the words I've heard. And I'm just concerned, or maybe just gambling too much here with this sale.
Either Mike or Joe.
Now I do know that the two bids you got, one of them was technically after the bid ending date, so that won't gonna go through, but that's besides the fact of this holdout for more money.
Right. I guess, Nick, you know, the additional thought was that more competition is better, right? Because like you said, there was really only one bid that came in that qualified. And, you know, Colliers thought that they could generate more interest than that just based on the time of year and the market conditions, like you said. I know, well, the Fed is delaying rolling back rates. That doesn't mean that the banks aren't reacting to the anticipation of rolling back rates. So the commercial rates are declining and have declined since we first put that out. So, you know, all we can do at this point is be optimistic. Your concerns noted, but all we can do at this point is be optimistic.
All right.
But you can be pessimistic if you want.
All right. We'll continue to see how this plays out. And just wanted to put it on record.
Thank you, Nick. Anybody else would like to come up? Seeing none, we'll move on. We now have other business, and I'd like to start down the end with Mr. Tinsley.
Thanks, Commissioner Higgins. So this is my second month coming on. I teach, train, and coach the definition of insanity is doing things over and over again, expecting different results. So I ended up coming prepared this time. So from a Pendelco perspective, I actually spoke to the leadership at Pendelco today just to get the hottest information. And this year's the first. This is the first year with full-day kindergarten, so that's exceeding expectations. Parents are thrilled, and the academic growth data has been proving the value of that full-day kindergarten within our district. And it passed at the federal in the late fall, and I believe Pendelco did it at the end of the 2023. So as far as for the universal breakfast, that has been for all students K through 8, is now available at Pendelco at no cost to the residents taxpayers. So that's from the Pendelco perspective. Since I'm first, I will steal everybody's thunder, and from a safety perspective, the township got to at least call out our township leaders, especially our police chief. As you may have heard in the past 24 hours, that proud, happy, and to announce that Aston Township has made the list of the safest towns in our state. And just some of the issues tonight actually is my day 50 of my first 100 days as Aston Commissioner. So I had my own goals that I calling myself responsible for to get done in my first 100. So as far as for getting my name out there with my welcome letter that has been completed, 2 other items that I'm going to try to do in the second half of my 100 is complete the database with the residents. I continue to talk to them. There has been work closely with Bill DeFeo, our township manager, and Kelly. So there's been like 11 issues that I've been dealing with from our ward. I know there's some that are still open. So I know some of the neighbors that I've been texting with even over this past weekend. But I just continue to get my grasp as far as for being in a different position than I was for 15 years within our township. That's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you for the information on, what's wrong here? Thanks for the information on the safest places to live too. We're in good shape. I think Commissioner Doherty may have some comments on that too.
I was going to mention it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. Commissioner,
nothing.
You have nothing?
Nothing.
Mr. Prendergast.
I'm just along with Commissioner Tinsley. I read that today myself about where we ranked in the county as far as being the safest. That's a good thing. And I just want to thank everybody else for coming out tonight.
Thank you. Commissioner Doherty.
Well, first, I want to thank our Public Works Department, especially our road crew, for the fantastic job they've done plowing snow through the recent snowstorms. Nobody does it better than our guys. And following up on what Commissioner Tinsley said, we were apparently listed as one of the safest towns in PA. I think we're number 74 in the state. I think we're number 2 in the county. So, hey, yay us.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Ms. Bowden?
I won't be very I've gotten some phone calls, and I don't know if the rest of you have, regarding the TD Bank situation with the tax collection. So I really want the residents to know that we had nothing to do with that. That was completely done by TD Bank. We didn't stop. They do not want to collect the taxes. It has nothing to do with Aston Township. We would love to have them still there, but it's not happening. But I just wanted to clarify that with everybody. But they can be paid. Our township building, the girls there will help you out with that. Whatever. That's all I have. And again, thank you to our police department for the job keeping our community so safe. I absolutely. We're blessed. That's all.
Commissioner McGinn.
Yes, I allocate my time to Commissioner Ruggieri. I'm promoting you. You're the police commissioner now. Out of consultation with our attorney, Mike Badger, I'm not allowed to do that, so sorry, Dan. No, in all seriousness, obviously, congratulations on that. As we hit February, one of the things I'll talk about time to time is somebody with a few children in the township as well that are active in sports and things like that. want to recognize and thank Aston AA, a winner, obviously a big basketball season. Everybody that was involved there did a really good job. Saw a lot of smiling faces, maybe a couple tears and foot stomps with some little kids that lost some championship games, but overall, a lot of happy people. So appreciate the work they do there. Obviously, we're turning the page. It won't feel like it when we walk outside tonight, but we are pretty close to spring, according to both the calendar and Punxsutawney Phil. So we're heading into, Aston Valley. I always see Joe Hart, so it makes me think Aston Valley first, Aston Middletown on the baseball side, and then Aston AA with their activities too, whether it's softball, volleyball, and of course lacrosse, which I thought, Kevin, you would have mentioned, but I'll plug it for Kevin as something that helps lead the lacrosse program for Aston AA. So recognize all of that. And the other thing I'll say is appreciate residents that came out, and hopeful. One of the things that we did tonight and looked in terms of adding more horsepower to the code department, with adding that position of bringing somebody on that gives our code department more ability to go out, not just reactively but proactively and address some of these situations in all of our commercial quarters. That's it for me, Mike.
Thank you. Mr. Visuzo.
I'm good, thank you.
Mr. Maturin?
I guess since Commissioner McGinn mentioned Commissioner Tinsley not mentioning something, I'll wish everybody a happy St. Patrick's Day. And that's all I got.
Thank you. So next month you'll be wearing green. So, Mr. DeFeo.
So the only thing I want to say is that not only are we a safe community, we also want to be known as a clean community. So I'm asking the residents if they have issues related to rats and things of that nature, garbage, things of that nature, please reach out to the township building. We're there to help. We have a code department that is willing to go out there and resolve some of these issues. We will be meeting with you tonight after this meeting, but again, we want to be known not only as just a safe community, but also a clean community. And we expect our businesses to keep it clean also. Thank you.
Ms. Pippin?
I'm good. I think everybody hit everything. And a happy St. Patty's Day, so but other than that, I don't think I have anything.
I don't have too much to say which will make people happy, but just want to echo what Commissioner McGinn said about the residents coming out. It's important that you come out and let us know what's going on, Otherwise, it's easy to drive down the street and miss something, because I'm a human being, I don't go out specifically looking for things, but you don't always recognize what's going on, and you guys out there, and it affects your quality of life. So I think it's important that you let us know what's going on. And I just want to thank everybody here on the panel for all their hard work getting ready for these meetings, especially some projects like the new township complex, and for the A&A project over on Bridgewater Road. A lot of effort's been going into that for years and years. So thank you very much, everybody, and happy St. Patrick's Day. And I need a motion.
Make a motion.
So moved. Okay, thank you, everybody.